Hello and welcome to Rauta's comic book reviews. This time we're talking about Pantera's Vulgar Display of Power. Pantera no doubt is one of the most legendary names in the metal history. Why so? First of all, they were kind of pioneering the whole groove metal genre. Secondly, they made some really good albums. Even if a lot of people say, I hate that cowboy bullshit, I hate the Texan shit. For me, the growing years, formative years in a way, were happening right around the time when Pantera's Vulgar Display of Power came to be. And I was actually very, very lucky to see them live during 1994 when it was Far Beyond Driven tour. So for me, it has a lot to do with the teenage years. So, in 1992, when this particular album was released, it made waves, and it's still seen one of the most important, or maybe the most important albums by Pantera. 30 years later, some people wanted to make a comic book about it, because 30 years and all. So 2023, this book became a reality. And here it is, being a book interpretation of the given album, meaning there are stories, short stories, mind you, about the song titles. And this comes with a variety of talents, as you can see here already on the back cover. As you can see, there are people like Ellen Robert from Life of Agony or Burden C. Bell from Fear Factory. So some known names from various parts of the world. And the list goes on. It's too big of a list for me to really sum it up, but gives you a little bit of idea how many people have been, doing their job here. So first you'll see some cover artists and some other names, and then of course individual stories have their own writers. There's even this called Last Rites cover artist Paul Booth. Here he's talking about his history with the band and all, and making some nice graphics. I won't show you each and every story, obviously, because it goes beyond the scope of this video, and first of all, I want people to read this in case they are actually interested in. But I'll give you a couple of ideas. So, first of all, you see the opening track, Mouth for War, Chapter 1. And this is written by Luke Wallers and art by Sean Onendera and color by DZ Alonso. This is just one of the given visual styles about the story. For example, the first story tells about this guy going to work and, getting a little bit Pantera in headphones, and then it's about fight and, getting into war of sense. And a lot of these, graphical styles kind of remind me of, superhero comic books, which I grew up with. Some of them are uglier, some of them are sweeter, different styles for different folks, and that's part of it. Then, secondly, A New Level by Keith Buckley, art by Rodrigo Lujan. Very, very different kind of story. It's almost like you make the pact with the devil, and then you suddenly see Pantera on stage. Stuff like that. And, for example, here we have Walk by Burden C. Bell, the Fear Factory guy, with a sci-fi graphic novel. Unfortunately, while the graphic style is kind of cool, no, this story wasn't, pushing the right buttons. One of the best stories, however, because I want to point out something, is like this rather horror style of violence is, fucking Hostile by Steve Miles. These are very, very different styles. Some stories like this one is actually about with a twist. I don't want to reveal it here. Then there are like vampire stories, and then one of my favorite stuff, probably the best story in the book, is This Law, which is a very, very macabre story about, love. Once again, comes with a twist, so I don't want to, spoil it. Then there are stories like, I'll show you. Come on, where it is. Living in a Hole, which is a very, very different style of art. And sometimes these, album lyrics come into play like this. So it's all about, sometimes building the story with the given lyrics. Sometimes they're more like inspiring the setting. Like one of the better stories is this one, maybe my second favorite story, Regular People Conceit by Tony Lee and Diego Yapor. This is very Conan the Barbarian like of a story here, but once again, it comes with a twist. And some of these stories indeed go with, like lines from the songs. You can actually hear it in your head if you know the lyrics or some of it, and you can just kind of start humming while you read it. That's exactly what happened to me with certain songs, like Walk, for instance. I kind of start hearing the song when I was reading the stories because some of the lyrics just kind of pop into my head. And this is another story by Demons Be Driven. When you see, this is a good way to show example. Beckon to call, beckon to call. I already hear the Dimebag Darrell guitars going wild when I'm listening to, or reading this stuff. And here it says once again, by Demons Be Driven. So if that doesn't click you the right way, then you probably don't know Pantera well enough. And then there's, in the end, some art, kind of like alternative cover art for this given book. So, in my opinion, this does nice homage to the unfortunately deceased members of the band. And here it is. This book is dedicated to the memory of Dimebag Darrell and Vinnie Paul. May them rest in peace. The legendary founders of the band, the guitarist and the drummer, who essentially created Pantera out of nothing. Obviously, other people like Phil Anselmo and Rex came to be into the band, to shape it up. But without these brothers, it wouldn't be what it was. Well, Pantera was a great band, and nowadays they are touring with a new lineup, and all, unfortunately, without the original members. Some say it's bullshit. Some people say, hey, it's still some kind of a chance to see Pantera live. Unfortunately, I couldn't get an interview with them when they were touring in Finland, so they weren't my chance to go with, but that is what it is. Regarding the book, it's a good choice for fans and collectors. Like, if you're a comic book collector, this is one of the weirder ones versus your Supermans and Batmans and Spider-Mans or whatever you might have in the collection. And if you are a Pantera fan and you just want something more than just the albums, well, this is a good way to have one. But I still might say mostly this isn't that good of a comic book. So casual reader might not get much out of it because it kind of assumes you know some of the lyrics and you get the idea of the album and all that stuff, starting with the Vulgar album cover. But for fan product, it's a nice one, really. A good idea as a gift for a friend who loves Pantera, and other people, well, maybe not so much. But now you know it's available somewhere. Do your Googling online, Z2 Comics, and you should be able to find it. Now, I hope you found this review at least somewhat useful or informative, and if not, well, sue me and we have the money back guarantee. Off you go, enjoy, and be listening some Pantera. Bye-bye.